Hello, welcome to our session working with documents within a working group site. We are on a sample working group site called Singapore Conference, and what we have in front of us is the home page for this working group site. To talk a little bit about what we see on the screen, we have an announcements list, which is just postings for information to share with other participants. We have an events calendar. We have a participants contacts list, but most importantly for this session, we have 3 separate distinct document libraries down the right-hand side. A document library is a container for files such as PDF, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. In this session, we're going to just simply go through the steps to upload a new document to a document library. Our first step is to go to the Quick Launch menu on the left-hand side and click on our link called Shared Documents. This will take us directly into the full Shared Documents library. As you can see, we have 4 existing PDF files within this library. Now what we want to do is add a new document that other participants can gain access to. We have the upload button here that we are going to click, which will take us to the screen that lets us begin the process of uploading a document. In the upload document section, we just scroll over and click the browse button until we open up our local computer. Here is where you can browse either your C drive or network drives to find the specific file that you wish to add. Once you have located your file, you can either single click it to populate the file name and then click open, or you can double click it to quickly select it and show the path in which the original file was located that it's being uploaded from. The version comments section is just a brief description about what might have changed with this particular file. Seeing as this is our first time that we are adding this file to the site, this would be the first version. At this moment, we may not need to add any sort of version comments. We're going to begin the process to upload by clicking the OK button. And once we have concluded doing that, we are going to be taken to the document properties screen, which is shown at this moment. What we see here is a message letting us know that the document was uploaded successfully and is checked out to you, and that you must fill out any required properties and check it in before other users will be able to access it. What this means is that the file is presently with you. No other users on the site will be able to access this file until you check it in. Once you have checked it in, they will be able to download and open your file. On the document properties screen, we have a title section that provides us the ability to provide a more descriptive explanation about what this file is. Often what will happen is our file name may not be as clear and concise as what we may want other people to see. So the title field allows us to provide that additional clarification. We've entered in our information and we can proceed by clicking Check In. Now that we have checked in our file, we can see that we now have a 5th file added to our site, and it has a new icon next to it, which means that this was recently added. This concludes uploading a document to a document library. If you would like to stay with this session, our next topic is going to be editing the properties of a document and deleting a document. Our next session is covering how to edit the properties of a document as well as deleting a document. The properties of the document are comprised of the title as well as the file name, which was covered in the previous step. When we want to view the properties of a document, we place our mouse over the name column for the file, and we can see that we have the option to choose a menu. When we click the menu, we can see that we have several options, including viewing the properties, editing the properties, editing the document in Microsoft Word, as well as deleting it. If we select View Properties as our first option, we are taken back to our very familiar screen that contains the name of the file as well as the alternate title that we have provided. We can see here we have very similar options as compared to our original menu. We can select Edit Item, Delete Item, as well as check out the file or just simply close out of this screen. At this time, we're going to select Edit Item, and it's giving a notification to let us know that before we can make changes, we must check the file out to us. Again, what this means is that this file is being flagged and checked out with your individual account so that no one else can be making changes to the properties of this document at the same time. So we're going to click OK, and now we have the capability of amending our title or file name if desired. Once we've made our changes, we can click OK to save and return back to the document library. One thing that's important to note is the icon has actually changed to show a small green box with an arrow. If we place our mouse over this, we can see that this document is still checked out to my account. In order for other people to be able to work with this file or edit the properties, I now need to check the file back in. If I go back over my menu, I get the option, the menu option again, and I see I now have an option to check the file in. I click it, and it's taken me to the screen to ask me which version would I like to check in. Would I like to check in a minor version, which would just be a draft, or a major version, which means that everybody can see my changes. I'm going to select major, and I can now type in some comments with respect to what might have changed. Fixed document name and title. Click OK. And now we can see that our icon has been reverted back to the traditional Word icon, and that if we look at our menu option, our only option now would be to check out this file. If we want to delete the file once we've added it, we just simply go to our menu and select the delete option. We do receive notification asking if we would like to confirm our deletion. If we click OK, the document is moved to the recycle bin. The recycle bin is located on the left quick launch menu and is specific to your account. If you click into the recycle bin, you may select the file that you have deleted and restore it back to its original document library location. This concludes the section Editing a document's properties and deleting a file. The next section is going to cover working with a document, opening it up in Word, and making changes. The session that we're covering now is opening up a document inside of Microsoft Word to make some changes and then check it back in. We are inside of our shared document library within our Singapore conference. To get to this location, once again, you can always go to the left quick launch menu and click Shared Documents. What I'm going to do next is I actually just have to click on the file name, and I get a notification to say, how would you like to open this file? Would you like to open up as read-only, or would you like to check it out and modify the file, or check it out and edit the file? If I have no changes to the file, I should always select read-only. If I plan on making changes to the document, I need to select Checkout and Edit. I'm going to leave the default to say Use My Local Drafts folder, which is just a temporary location where this file is going to be stored while I make my changes. I will click OK, and Microsoft Word will launch, and I receive another Windows Security prompt. This is the prompt from the Praxity Extranet site asking me to re-enter my credentials. This is an important step because whenever working with documents from a browser, the Extranet site wants to confirm that you are the appropriate person viewing that file. If you have the option to choose Remember My Credentials, as you can see here, you will not need to re-enter your login and password for the Praxity site. I click OK, and if I get any other additional security prompts, which often with Microsoft Windows you may, just select Enable to keep proceeding. We can see here that my Word document has opened over top of the Extranet site. I can make changes to the document if I like, and I can click Save. When I click Save, what this is going to do is save it back to the SharePoint site. It's an interim save. But if I'm all done with making my changes, I can simply click the Close option from within inside Microsoft Word, and I will now receive a prompt to say, other users cannot see your changes until you check in your file. Do you want to check in now? I should always select Yes if I'm done making my changes. Once again, I get a prompt to say, what kind of version would you like to check in? A minor version, which is just a draft, one that I may want to come back later and make changes to, or someone else may need to make changes to, or would I want to publish a major version, which means that everyone that has access to the working group site can see my changes. Once again, it's always a best practice to provide some version comments as to what has been modified. Once I've done so, I can click OK, and the document closes and my document library refreshes, and I can have the confidence knowing that my file has changed by reviewing the modified timestamp. I can also, if I want to confirm, I can click the file, and instead of selecting Checkout and Edit this time, I can select Read Only. It will once again launch Word and prompt me for my credentials, but then by opening it up, I can see that I have the updated profile. And now I can just simply close it. This concludes editing a document inside of a document library.